There is one final step to take before your state government is complete, and that is announcing the winners of your statewide elections. The Nationalists, and the Federalists have been campaigning hard to win the top spots, and in just a few short moments, we will announce who came out on top. Who's ready? Before we do, we have a special guest joining us here today who will help us as we announce the election results for the 85th session of Missouri Boys State. Denny Hoskins was elected Missouri's 41st Secretary of State in 2024. Secretary Hoskins previously served in the Missouri Senate and the Missouri House of Representatives. He is a fifth-generation Missourian who grew up in central Missouri and graduated from Fatima High School in Westphalia, Missouri, before joining the Missouri Army National Guard and becoming a certified public accountant. We are proud to welcome such a dedicated public servant to share the results with you all. Please give a warm Boys State welcome to Secretary of State Denny Hoskins.
Okay, I think now we're in business. Thank you. Thanks for having me here today. I'm Secretary of State Denny Hoskins, and I don't want to correct you, but it's Fatima, not Fatima, right? Right? Do I have some Fatima people out there? All right, I hear a few in the background. All right. I was a 1992 Boys State alumni. My son Cole got selected to be in Boys State in 2020, but unfortunately COVID happened and he wasn't able to attend. And then my daughter Amelia was in Girls State in 2023, and it definitely changed her life. You know, out on the campaign trail, I've been Secretary of State since January this year, and so I had people say, what exactly does a Secretary of State do? And that's a very valid question. Not a lot of people knew. Do we have any future business owners and entrepreneurs in here? Raise your hand. Who wants to own their own business? Quite a few of you out there. That's right. When you're ready to start your business, you'll come to the Secretary of State's office and you'll file the paperwork to create that LLC or partnership. We also have the state library, state archives, securities, and administrative rules in the Secretary of State's office. Now, I want to talk a little bit about administrative rules, and nobody really likes rules. But administrative rules is it's a superpower, I call, that the Secretary of State's office has. And within that superpower, I can approve or reject emergency rules, all right? So I'm going to give you two examples, and you tell me if you think they're emergency or not. Number one, Department of Ag came and said, hey, we've got this emergency rule about egg drop syndrome. I had no idea what egg drop syndrome was. And so I had to Google it, just like I'm sure you all would have to. Well, it's basically where chickens lay soft-shell eggs. No one wants to go to the grocery store and buy a dozen soft-shell eggs, right? Because they'd never make it home. And so I turned to my general counsel and I said, well, what constitutes an emergency according to Missouri state law? And he said, well, it affects the health or well-being of Missourians. So raise your hand if you think making sure that we don't have soft-shell eggs affects the health and well-being of Missourians. Affects our food supply, right? Yes, most certainly, most certainly. So I approve that emergency rule, which means it went into effect immediately. If I reject an emergency rule, then it takes about 4 to 6 months for that to go through the process. So I'll give you another one. Missouri Gaming Commission came to me and said, it is an emergency that Missourians get to bet on sports book in June and July versus October and November. Anybody think that's an emergency that affects the health and well-being of Missourians? You all aren't old enough to bet yet. You're not old enough to bet yet. Now, I'm not naive enough to think that, hey, there's offshore betting apps and things like that. But I take my job as Secretary of State very, very seriously. Obviously, being able to bet on sportsbook in June or July versus October or November does not affect the health and well-being of Missourians. So I rejected that rule. But what happens when you, as Secretary of State, most people think about me as the chief election officer in the state of Missouri. And I know that's why I'm here today, is to certify your election results. And I'm excited to certify those here in just a little bit. I want to throw out some numbers, though. 150,000. That's how many ineligible voters we took off the Missouri voter rolls since January 13th. 150,000 ineligible voters. Thank you. 18,000 of those were deceased voters that were still on the voter rolls. 1,700 felons that we had on the voter rolls. And felons can't vote in the state of Missouri. We had one non-citizen that actually voted in the November 2024 election. And right now we're working with the Department of Homeland Security in order to audit our voter rolls with with the non-citizen database, and there's going to be more. And then the last number is 2. I have 2 red jackets. That's usually the first thing that everybody asks me is, how many red jackets do you have? I have 2. You here are the creme de la creme. Each of you earned your way here into Missouri Boys State. Someone saw something special in each one of you, or else you wouldn't be here. Whether that was choir, class officer, sports, band, debate, student council, National Honor Society, FBLA, Sunday school teacher, work a full-time job while attending school, community volunteer, entrepreneur, FFA, yearbook, newspaper, junior ROTC. You all deserve to be here because you're leaders. Now, sometimes leadership means taking a stand. Other times it means taking a seat and listening. And believe me, it's hard for me to listen sometimes. Really listening to the people around you. It means remembering that behind every policy or program are real people with real stories and real needs. The question now is, what are you going to do with your experience here? What happens from here is up to you. Here's my challenge to you. Don't let this be the last time you step up. Take what you've learned here at Missouri Boys State back to your schools, your churches, your communities, your neighborhoods. Volunteer. Register to vote when you're 18. Actually, you can register before you're 18. But many of you will be able to vote in the August 2026 elections. Register to vote. Stay informed. When the time comes, run. Run for student council. Run for city council. Run for school board. Maybe even run for Secretary of State. Because Missouri needs you. We need the leaders that are here in this room. My dad always told me a Hoskins never gives up. And that's how I've lived my life. I've lived my life as an underdog. No one picked me to be the 41st Secretary of State. Just like there may have been some of you that you thought there was no way that I'll get selected to Boys State. But someone believed in you like they believed in me. I was outspent by millions of dollars on the campaign. But I worked hard. I kept focus. And I didn't give up. It paid off by winning the primary by about 50,000 votes in the Republican primary, 24% of the vote, and the general election with 57% of the vote. Another thing that motivates me is unfulfilled potential. No one ever said, hey, I want to be an underachiever when I grow up. I've got all this potential, but I really don't want to live up to it. I want to be an underachiever. I hope you've used your time here at Boys State to overachieve. Make new friends. But more importantly, step out of your comfort zone. Try new things. Talk to different citizens that have different points of view than you do. Get out of your comfort zone. Make plans to visit your new friends and their stomping grounds. Because everyone here has more in common than they do differences, right? That's right. Where's Michael Green? Come on up, Michael. Yeah. All right, while Michael's on his way up, is anybody here from Truman High School? We any Truman Patriots here? All right, back here. Come on up, Truman Patriot. All right. I can guarantee you that Fatima High School and Truman High School are very different. Michael, how many kids do you have in your class?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Well, probably, it's pretty small. So when I graduated from Fatima High School, I had 77. The reason I know Michael is because his dad was the best man at my wedding, and I was the best man at his wedding. How about Truman High School? How many students does Truman High School have in your class?
I'm in a class of 497.
497, all right. I can guarantee you Fatima does not have 497.
Probably not.
Probably about 150, right? So, Michael, what's your name from Truman? Hunter, all right. Michael, if you took Hunter back to Osage County, Fatima High School, you could take him to Sestack Slab? Probably not. Not anymore, maybe? Sestack Slab, you could show him how to deer hunt, right? Yep. I know you could take him out on a four-wheeler. You could take him on a side-by-side. You could teach him how to drive a tractor. You went to St. Joe, right? Yep. You could take him to St. Joe Church Picnic where they got the best fried chicken ever. I guarantee it. Hunter, if you took Michael back to Independence, you could take him, show him what it's like to cruise on Nolan Road, right? You could take him, show him what Friday night lights are at a football game. Because at Fatima, we don't have football. We don't have football, right? You could also take him to a Royals game or Chiefs game or Mavericks game, right? Or you could take him to Santa Caligon days coming up. Yes, Santa Caligon days. Each of you have different life experiences, but Boys State brought you both together here. And so whether you're in a class of 500, where Hunter's at Truman High School, or you're in a class of about 150 out in the middle of the country in Fatima High School, there's a lot different, but there's also a lot that we do and we have the same. And so I appreciate you both coming up here. I want to give you both of a challenge coin, all right? Thank you, Michael. Tell your dad I said hello. Thank you, Hunter. We appreciate you coming up here. Yep, thank you. Oh. So, in closing, let me say this. I know that you all have big dreams. That's good. We need dreamers. But pair your dreams with action. Pair your passion with humility. And always remember, leadership is not about being important. It's about being useful. Congratulations again to each of you. I look forward to seeing how you'll lead. And I know that there's an alumni page and a who's who page, and I hope to see many of your names and faces on there. But I want you to, not only how you lead this week, but how you lead in the years to come. Missouri is lucky to have you. Thank you. Keep up the great work. God bless Missouri, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the field, they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air.
All right, gentlemen, here we are. We are ready to hear the final results of your statewide general election. We are honored to have Secretary of State Hoskins joining us here today. When you hear your name and you're basking in your glory, I'd like you to come up on stage on this side, greet Secretary Hoskins, and we'll recognize the total slate of new office holders for Missouri Boys State. Who's ready? All right. We will start with the State Treasurer of Missouri Boys State. None other than Sharice Ayer, Richardson City. We're just getting started. We got more work to do. We need to figure out who will represent you all, the collective state, as your Attorney General. I need you to get loud. I need a roar, because I'm about to bring to the stage Harrison Lane of Clark City. Awesome work. This is a big deal. Really good job.
We like the U in the 80s. Back to back, set a track. Hit the lick, get it back. Get the trick, jump the track. Money back, time and time again. While I'm sipping on this gin. Al Davis said it best, just win, baby.
That's two. Your state auditor. Let's see it. Orange Jones, Gambrell City. We're not done yet. Secretary of State. Secretary of State. You just saw what they do. Who's going to join the current Missouri Secretary of State on stage tonight? Here we go. Ty Griffith,
Go, where the love go? 5, 4, 3, 2, where the ones go? It's a show, put you front row. Talking bro, let your tongue show. Money over and above. That is still my favorite love quote. Put the gun aside, what the for? I sleep with the gun, and she don't snow. What the yo? Where the love go? Trade the ski mask for the muzzle. It's a bloodbath, where the suns go? It's the Swiss beat, that the drums go. If she's iffy,
Boys State, Boys State. You need a lieutenant governor. You need a lieutenant governor, Boise State.
Where the love go? 5, 4, 3,
Someone
2,
to help
let one
shepherd
go.
this week home.
I don't bluff, bro.
Are you ready to hear who that is? Do you want to know who that is? I do too. Ryan Wall.
Aiming at your head like a buffalo. Get the though. I don't bluff, bro. I come out the scuffle without a scuffle. Puff, puff, bro. I don't huff, though. Yellow diamonds up close, catch a sunstroke. At your front door with a gun store. Knock, knock, who's there's how it won't go. Just the jungle, so have the utmost for the nutsos. And we nutso with the bro. Where I'm from, bro. We grow up fast, we roll up slow. We throw up gang signs, she throw up dope. Dreadlock, hand time, like you don't know. Put the green in the bag like a lawnmower. Hair trigger, pull back like a cornrow. Extra clip in the stash like a console. Listening to Bono.
All right, Boise State.
What the bro?
All right, Boise State.
Swizzy, eat a chef. I like my
Have a
lunch
great
gross.
rest of the day. Thank you. No. We're not done yet. We got a governor, the leader of Missouri Boise State. Are you ready? Are you ready? I want him to hear you in Kansas City, where the best barbecue is, by the way. The governor of Missouri Boise State, the 85th session.
Aiming at your head like a buffalo.
Over the last, settle down, gentlemen, settle down. Over the last few days, you all have engaged in civics. Exactly what we ask you to do in our core values. You engaged in civics, and you've championed our democracy. Throughout this week, you all, as Brad asked you to do, have stepped into the arena. Now, there's 6 individuals who aren't on this stage, who I want to congratulate for the work they did to step into the arena, to not stand on the sidelines. Nice job, gentlemen. Incredibly exciting for me to formally introduce your newly elected state officials. All right, you guys are going to do a picture. You're going to look at that booth back there, and we'll do your picture. Mr. Secretary, I'll have you stand here with these guys, and we're going to look to that booth straight back there. Scoot in, scoot in. All good. If you could wait right here. One more? Never mind.